So, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. So today my topic here is Ayurvedic concept of digestion, and I really want to say thank you to Mona Bhatt who is organizing this
My
event.
pleasure. And I wanted to thank her to accept my invitation to share her wisdom with us. And, you know, we learn from the the people who knows thoroughly the knowledge. We are still baby steps here. So I'm very, very thankful to you, Anupama. Welcome to our Northeast community event. This is our first public event. So that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm still a student in Ayurveda, so I'm not really expert, still learning.
We all are same. We learn every day.
Yeah, it's a Ayurveda is really, it's a vast subject. There is a lot to learn from this. So when Monaji approached me, so I thought that maybe it will be like, public as well as some students or practitioner from Ayurveda. So I thought of taking this topic, which is very important at present in the current scenario, as well as in a day-to-day life we can implement for preventative aspect, as well as what because the food is the medicine according to Ayurvedic perspective. So, one second. Let me, yeah. So what exactly the Ayurveda stands for? The word Ayurveda, it's literally meaning, many of you know, it's a science of life. It's a science of living, So this practice is based on the holistic science that address the body, mind, and spirit. That is the core part here. It's not just the body. It's not just the mind. It's like holistic approach with the combination like the body, mind, and spirit. It's a whole system approach of Ayurveda promote health and wellness care as well as the disease management. So the word I think there is
somebody's chat. Grass, hello. Okay.
You can mute all, so that way,
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay, thank you. So here the word whole system implies to that, like, it's when we recommend treatment aspect or when we promote the health and wellness from Ayurvedic perspective.
Oh. One second. Okay, go ahead, Anupama. I think everybody can unmute themselves, so it's good. The audio kidhar gaya iska? Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Anupama, I can't hear you.
You can.
Okay, how about now?
That's better. I got it. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so we use the diet, lifestyle, and herbs and various body work therapies and yoga. So there are various tools. It's not just one single piece or just one herb or just a diet or just the certain therapy play a role. It's a combination of everything. That's what we use for health promotion as well as the disease management. Another beauty of Ayurveda is it is an individualized medicine. So what is this individualized medicine mean? I always, if a patient with a headache, like there were 5 different patients with the same symptom comes, the way Ayurveda look into that 5 different patients, same condition, but the different patient, maybe in a different way. So it is a tailor-made. The way we look at the symptom, way we look at the disease, understanding the pathology, based on that, even though the patients are suffering from the same condition, our approach can be different. Okay, so that's why it's more individualized medicine. It's a patient-centered care, which enhancing the quality of life. The another beauty of Ayurvedic medicine here is, even when a patient is going through the treatment, it's not only treating that specific condition as well as the patient overall quality of life is improving, because there is a process of education is happening when a patient going through the Ayurvedic treatment. We teach them the daily routine, seasonal routine, or the dietary aspect too, and then the herbs and some of the major thing they need to follow in the lifestyle changes. So that helps them to improve the quality of life. Another beauty is it's a family medicine. It's a way of life. No, it's not just when we can use the principle explained in the Ayurvedic textbook, treating the disease, or when a person gets sick, as well as a healthy person, to promote his health, to feel the better, to feel more energy, to feel a completeness in life, the balance in the physical well-being, balance in the mental well-being, and balance in the spiritual well-being. So that is the another beauty. It's a way of life. It teaches that core science. And this is age-old wisdom which can be applied for everyday life. It's a traditional wisdom of science which is not outdated. Even though it is existing since thousands of years, the fact that it's still valid, the fact that still practiced since thousands of years shows that the magnificent capacity or the magnificent power of this science. Okay, so this is some of the very primitive, basic understanding of Ayurveda. I'm not going very in-depth foundational principle here. I just want to showcase how powerful this science is and what is the unique feature of this science. So the main key factor here is keeping all the three in balance. I said that Ayurveda cannot look at body is a different compartment, mind is a different compartment. Your spiritual understanding about who you are is a different compartment. Use the complete. So all these three together form this human body, the three pillars of life, body, mind, and spirit. So balance is the key factor. Whatever, even for the health promotion perspective, even we are managing the treating a disease, what we look at is keeping the balance. Okay, so in order, if you want to be a healthy person, if you want to be in a state of disease free, we need to understand what is the cause of happiness. What is my suffering? How can I come out of this suffering? Ayurveda, the disease, another word is also suffering. Any kind of suffering. It can be emotional suffering. It can be physical suffering. That all come under disease. Okay, that's why even according to Ayurvedic medicine, even if you don't have any physical symptom of a disease, means you don't have any joint pain or insomnia or name it, any of the disease condition, but still if you cannot find the balanced or peaceful state of mind, you are a sick person according to Ayurveda. So you need to understand what makes me happy. You need to understand what is the suffering I'm going through. Then you will be able to come out of it actually and bringing the balance. So preventative care and management of disease. Many of you know this fact, right? We have two main aims Ayurvedic medicine talk about: treating the disease as well as preventative care. And the more and more popularity coming actually is preventative aspect of Ayurvedic medicine, especially outside India, right? Because we have a lot of limitation how we can practice Ayurvedic medicine when the outside India. Some of the countries still you can practice as a really medicine and it's a licensed healthcare profession. But there is as the globalization of Ayurveda is taking place, we have a lot of limitation at present. But the another highlight here is optimistic living and positive health. You can see there are more and more studies coming, a lot of books published actually, not in Ayurvedic medicine, outside, in general readings category, you can see that lots of talk about optimistic living. And if you look at Ayurvedic foundational principle, it's built on that. How you think, how you act. That's why even daily routine, seasonal routine, Acharya Rasayana is one section in Ayurvedic medicine. It's talk about the code of conduct, and it's all talking about the optimistic living and positive health, helpful for others. Think positively, act positively, because you are what you think and act, right? So, and consciousness-based approach to the health and well-being. Here, consciousness-based approach, what I interpret is it's not basically the spirituality based Hinduism, or different religious perspective, we can see a deeper understanding when we look at the consciousness based approach to understand who am I, what is the purpose of life, like to go in depth understanding about this life. Then we will reach into a state of mind where we won't suffer too much, where we will be able to understand what we see in this world is all external or in Maya, right? To have that deeper spiritual understanding, what exactly the reality in life, what is my purpose of life, how is this connection happening between the macrocosm and microcosm, the nature and this human being, this human body. So in order to understand that rhythm of nature in connect with the human body, we need to have that deeper understanding of who am I, right? What is this nature? So that this science talk about, and not aiming at just a disease-free state. Ayurveda never aim at like symptom cure, that's it. No, it's not just aiming that, it's our quality of life, balance in every aspect of our life, even the balance in the environment too. That's the challenge what we are going through nowadays, right? COVID-19, there is like a lot of disruption in the environment balance and in the human activities, right? So each individual is not a separate, isolate entity from the universe. You see, you can see how we are connecting that, right? The human life is closely connected with the nature. You see the water inside the body, you see the same water outside this body in the universe. You see the fire inside, you can see the fire outside. So there is that close connectiveness happening, and it's existing. And it's a personalized medical care, which we talked about. So Ayurveda use like diet, lifestyle. When we say lifestyle, it's a daily routine, seasonal routine, sleep routine, herbs, various detoxification therapies, exercise, breathing exercise, yoga, any type of exercise too, which is according to the person's strength, and rejuvenation therapies, code of conduct, your behavior. These are the various tools used in Ayurveda for maintaining health as well as disease management. Then another beauty, my favorite part here is Ayurveda and circadian rhythm, right? So what it is there is activity of clock gene. That's a recent Nobel Prize topic. You can say that this body or this life process is connected with the nature rhythm of day and night, right? So what time you wake up, what time you sleep, what time you eat the food, what time you take the medicine. In Ayurveda, it's very specific. Take the medicine before food, or early morning, or when the sun is more bright, or evening time, or night just before the sleep, after food. So there are so many correlation with the time factor. And so there is another Kalaya Tasmai Namaha. I'm just bowing my head in front of the time. Time is another beautiful concept actually. Not only in Ayurveda, it is in Vedanta or in philosophy. Time is another important factor. Body and mind is connected to the nature rhythm, and that circadian rhythm, we cannot disrupt this. If you look at the traditional lifestyle, thousands of years back, everybody went to sleep when sun is set, right? There is no electricity, there is no light. So the dark, we go to sleep. When the sun rays, the brightness come, we wake up. That rhythm was there, right? But now we disrupt. We can stay up till 12 o'clock, we can 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We have so much to do in our things to do list, and we are punishing the body in a different way. Or even if we do that, do we take care of it by another remedy? Like if you have to wake up one day with X amount of, you're sleeping at 2 a.m., maybe you may need to make up that sleep next day. Are we doing that? Are we really respecting that rhythm between the body and the nature? Okay, that is very important. One of the cause of the disease also, sleep deprivation, or not following that, waking up maybe morning 10 o'clock or 12 p.m. is the wake up time. Some teenagers, usually you see that. I hear that a lot nowadays because of COVID-19. Everybody's at home, kids are not going to school. And some of the parents say that the kids are not waking up. They wake up at 11 a.m., So basically that lifestyle. That's why in Ayurveda is a lifestyle medicine. It teach every individual how to take care of the body, that health intelligence. You see that? I really like that concept of health intelligence. It makes individual responsible to take care of them. It's not swallowing the some pill and okay, I'm done. That pill will take care of me. No, you are the responsible person to take care of yourself, not somebody else. There is no shortcut for it, right? So, so time is an important factors in Ayurveda. Respect and appreciate the time. So that's why I would say it's Ayurveda is a time-related medicine. And another concept is spiritual healing, Ayurveda and spiritual healing. We cannot separate this, but we should not misunderstanding here, the spiritual meaning here, not just a religious aspect here. It is a consciousness-based approach. Help to align yourself with it. Help us to understand the purpose of life. Encourage us to look at what makes happy and what makes unhappy. What is good for life and what is not good for life. The definition of Ayurveda itself, it says, idahidam, sugam dukkam. What is good for your body? What makes you happy? That is what the core principle of Ayurveda. So that's why you cannot separate from Ayurveda from the spiritual healing concept, right? And even recently, I always tell my students to WHO definition, they have included, previously it's only the balance in the physical body, then physical body and mind. Now they have added physical body, mind and spirit here, right? So all these three combination is very important. And we can also see there have been a lot of research study coming up, important of spirituality in medicine and its application to the clinical practice. Patient who are going through the chemotherapy or patient who are going through post-traumatic syndrome, the role of spiritual healing. So it's slowly coming back, evidence-based approach from Ayurvedic perspective, as well as tying into that spiritual healing component here. Okay, so as I said earlier, I can briefly sum up before I go to the digestion. I just wanted to explain, it's a lifestyle as a medicine, and it's a pillar of life. You know, the way Ayurveda look at is, we cannot separate the lifestyle practices if we are looking for a health promotion. Most of, and it will actually align with the current epidemiological data. Most of the disease, 70% of all cause of mortality is a lifestyle disease, right? So most of the chronic diseases are considered from the lifestyle, inappropriate lifestyle practices. Like you can see overweight, not getting enough sleep, sedentary or luxurious lifestyle, or people who are working hard. They spend all the money, work so much hard and earn all money, and later we spend those money to take care of ourselves. We forget to enjoy the moment. We forget to ask ourselves, what makes me really happy? We forget to ask ourselves, what makes me really peaceful? Do I have a time to listen to my own breathing sound? Do I have a time to listen to my own, the food what I am eating, and chew it and just be in that moment? Do I stay in the moment, or do I go always fast forward or backward? That slowness, the stillness, do I enjoy that? It's a time for us to ask. You know, that is, this science makes us to think the value of lifestyle practices. So enjoy the life, need to understand the purpose of life, need to find the time for yourself. We are responsible to our own health and well-being. Nobody else here. When you are a small kid, maybe your parents may take care. But after that, you are, individual is the responsible. And when each individual take that responsibility, there is a community taking that responsibility. Then we can develop that strong community who value this aspect of our life. I always tell see, we are not a waste box. When you eat food, look at the food. Is this because the food what you eat is going to be the blood in the body. Food what you eat is going to be your circulatory system, respiratory, whatever that energy which is producing in the body, right? So then pay attention to that. Is this something good for me, right? Don't postpone it. I don't have time now. I will start cook food maybe after 1 year or after 3 months. Now, no time. My kids are very small. I think now I can only get the food from outside. I don't think I have time to do that. But what is important in your life? What you give the most? What do you prioritize in your life? That's what we need. And why should we prioritize these lifestyle practices? So Ayurveda is a science of life and personalized medicine which encourage the patient to participate in their own wellness. That is the beauty here. We educate the patient. When a patient comes, that's why usually Ayurvedic consultation, sometimes 1 hour, 2 hour. The recent data shows that an average healthcare practitioner, Western medicine or conventional medicine practitioner may be spending maximum 3 minutes with it. That is what happening throughout the world. There may be some exceptional cases, but this is in general data. So, but what is the specialty of Ayurvedic practice? We have to be a good listener. We need to understand that person who is sitting in front of you. Right? So because we need to encourage the patient, we need to make them to understand their responsibility, what they need to do, what they should not do to promote the health and wellness. So the beauty part is coming here. Food as a medicine and pillar of life. So previously I said lifestyle as a medicine. Now the food as a medicine. So digestion perspective, what to eat, how to eat, when to eat. Very important from Ayurveda perspective. Okay, so role of digestion in health and disease, lot of information. If you look at most of the disease, classical textbook of Ayurveda, 3,000 years old textbook and all, every disease management, they talk about patya and apatya. Patya, apatya means which is good for you, which is not good for you from the dietary perspective, as well as some other explanation also there. But there is an explanation about from the dietary perspective, what is good and what is not good. So you can see how much important the diet play, right? And there is explanation now in Western nutrition perspective, chrononutrition. That is another buzzy word you can see. Chrononutrition, the timing, frequency, and regularity of food intake is very important, which is Ayurveda thousands of years back mentioned. Frequency of food, regular intake of food, when to eat, different type of food. And the time, it says always one have to pay attention to the Agni Bala, the digestive fire, which I'm going to talk about that later. So another concept, eat less and live longer. You might have heard about it, right? Let the food be the medicine and medicine be thy food. It's a very well-known phrase. So nutrogenomics is another buzzword. Food or nutrients can influence the expression of genes in the body. Again, I'm fascinated by this concept. Like whenever I give talk on Ayurveda, each time, I feel like, look at this. This is explained. They have not done any lab research, laboratory research, or any other scientific studies thousands of years back. They talk about the diet play a major role in expression of a constitution. Prakriti, when your constitution, we can compare the constitution from the genetic perspective. There are a couple of studies published now, how the gene, concept of gene and Prakriti, the correlation, okay? So there is an explanation that when you are in the mother's womb itself, what type of food mother take, that influence the constitution. That is exactly what this nutrogenomics is talking about. Even after that, the diet play a major role, how your body is going to behave. You might have seen, if you're eating a lot of spicy, oily, fried food, after some time, you will definitely suffer from an acidity or some other problem, right? So the food definitely, what type of food we eat definitely reflect on how we feel. So the quality of food, quantity of food based on individual is very important. It's important to understand the concept of Agni. When we talk about the Ayurvedic concept of digestion, we cannot separate, we cannot move forward without talking about Agni and formation of Ama. And I will talk more, what is Agni and what is Ama. Okay, so this one, maybe everybody remember this, what to eat, how you eat and when you eat is very important for the health. Even if you didn't take anything, at least pay attention. You need to understand what you can eat and how you can eat. The Harvard University came up recent with the meditative eating habit, mindful eating practices. Mindful eating practices. Mindful eating practice is actually basically, which is explained in Ayurveda. It's a beautiful concept which everyone should follow this. But what's happening in the current scenario? We have a lot of lunch meeting, dinner meeting, right? There is no lot of problems discussed, so much noise around. Some people eat always at the restaurant now because of the COVID-19 situation may be different, but look at it. How many of us, if you do a research study or to collect the data, how many of us practice this mindful eating habit? When we know that food what we eat is going to be who we are, why are we not paying attention to this? Isn't it? Let's look at. So 8 rule in taking the food. That's another beautiful concept explained in Ayurvedic medicine. So nature of food article, method of processing, nature of food article, we have to go a little more in detail. This topic itself, we can talk about more than 10 hours, but I have to, within 1 hour, we have to finish this topic. So only certain topics I'm going to highlight it here. Method of processing is important, like how you are preparing the food. What are you combining the food with? Are you combining heat and cold together while eating? That's not good for the body. Quantity based on the person. It's not that everybody is in the same quantity. It varies based on your digestive fire. The quantity of food what you eat is going to be different. Type of food what you can eat also different based on your digestive fire. And also we need to pay attention where this food is coming from. I would highly recommend seasonal food and seasonal vegetables, seasonal fruit. What is growing in that particular season and where you are. It's not that during the rainy season getting mango from China or mango from India. Right? So it's because our body is getting used to that climate, and body can easily digest food grown in that particular season and that region. It'll be much beneficial for the body. And the time, what time are you eating? Are you eating your dinner at night 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock? Your digestion will definitely get affected. Right? So it's very important. And then Ayurveda talk about lunch should be your largest meal of the day. Dinner should be something light to digest. Try to eat something warm food. I will talk about that under rules governing the intake of food. That's a beautiful explanation, rules governing the intake of food. If we can practice that, I kind of feel, and I have seen among my patients too, they feel overall much better. Their strength is better. The energy is better. And wholesomeness of individual who takes the food. That is also very important. So what are the rules governing the intake of food? So one should take warm food. Try to take warm food as much as possible, which helps the digestion. And based again, if the patient have more warm symptom and heat symptom, we can change it a little bit. But in general, try to take the warm food. Try to include untossed food, not too much dry food. Try to include take the food in a proper quantity according to your digestive fire, according to your strength. Take the food. And take the meal only when the previous meal is digested. That's very important. If you're not feeling hungry, you don't have to have 3 times a day meal. If you don't feel hungry, if you feel really heavy, keep a little bit fasting. That's okay. Right? So pay attention. So when you eat the breakfast, by the time lunch, 12 o'clock, if you're not hungry, just skip it. Wait for it. Appetite should be strong enough so that the food, what you eat, get digested properly. And one should take the food in a proper place, not driving a car and eating something. Once in a while, something happen, can understand, but not all the time, You have to sit in a quiet place and look at the food. And if you go more depth, like you touch the food, you feel the food, you smell the food, when you chew it, you hear the food. Basically, we are using 5 senses there. 5 sensory organs, sensory perception is a beautiful concept in Ayurveda, actually. Maybe we can talk some other time. The importance, why sensory organs we need to take care. What is the importance of sensory perception? How the imbalance in the sensory perception can cause the disease, right? So even while eating the food, we can use these principles. We don't have to use always spoon and fork and all the plastic things in the mouth. I'm not saying that I'm completely against. Each country has its own culture. We have to respect it. But you can wash your hands properly and you can touch before you eat the food. You can touch the food. You feel it, right? You smell it. The food intake is the process. It's like something auspicious ceremony. It was like that thousands of years back. Everybody in the family sit together and then quiet. When you take the food, before the food intake, they pray. Not only in Hinduism, different countries had the similar culture. They pray in front of the food and look at the food. And then we should be thankfulness that we have the meal, right? We should value it. We should not waste it. And we should not take it too fast and too slowly. It's not watching the TV and eating the food. Some people finish the food 1 hour till they finish one serial or tea or some movie, right? So it's very important not to hurry, not too fast, not too slowly. Not talk or laugh while taking the food. With the full concentration. And one should take the food in a prescribed manner with due regard to his own self. We need to look at what's your constitution, what's your imbalance, what energies, what guna or quality is imbalance. Is it hot? Is you already have too much heat in the body? Or if you already have too much cold in the body? If you already have too much dry qualities in the symptom, then you have to adjust the food what you are taking based on that. And then, so now you kind of have an understanding of the food, basic core principle, how the Ayurveda food, looking into the food, right? The dietary aspect or ahara. Now we need to pay attention. So the food what we eat, or it's in the apple or mango, it's not in the form of the blood or new energy, right? There is that converting factor playing a role here, right? The food what we eat need to be converted into a nutrient format. And what is that energy? From Ayurvedic perspective, that is because of the Agni. We call it Agni, the transformatory energy. So that's why it says that one should pay attention to Agni, that transformatory energy, while eating food. Even before you take the rejuvenatory type of therapy, any kind of rejuvenatory type of therapies, herbs, diet, lifestyle, one must pay attention to the Agni, the digestive fire. So Agni is the predominant of fire element which govern all transformation. So it's not only the digestion, okay? Agni has much more higher function actually than converting the food into a nutrient format. So the primary function of Agni is digestion, absorption, assimilation, and transformation. So what happens if this Agni is not functioning properly? There will be this weak Agni, okay? It can lead to Ama. I will explain a little bit later what is Ama. So when Ama form, that can lead to disease. So what happened? It result impairment of metabolism. So there is the synonym for the disease from Ayurvedic perspective. There is another word called Amaya. The reason for the disease called Amaya is majority of the disease, this Ama is there. These undigested metabolites we can translate, but it won't be a complete justification if I translate into undigested metabolites. It has a much more deeper understanding. That's the challenge, right? We cannot translate the Ayurvedic word exactly into English. It won't get that full capture. The meaning won't come completely. But just for understanding purpose here, it's the undigested metabolites. So I said that the Agni means it's not only just the digestion, all right? It's not only looking at the transformatory energy. It has much more function, right? That is, it's responsible for visual perception. It is responsible for your brightness, your energy, your courage, okay? And its complexion, it's maintained the constitution. It gives the confidence. If your Agni is good, you're very confident. You have a fearlessness state. In a sattvic way, fearlessness state, you can be sattvic way, rajasic way, tamasic way, different way can it happen. But in a sattvic way, if your Agni is functioning properly, you get into that state of mind. It creates the joy, ability to, kind of balance in the thought process some extent when the Agni is strong. So cheerfulness, laughing, contentment, and provide mental clarity, intelligence. All that the Agni has. That's why one type of Pitta, the Sadhaka Pitta has a correlation with Agni, right? That is a similar energy, kind of similar energy, but not exactly the Agni, but Sadhaka Pitta, it's more intelligence comes, that Agni factor, the Pitta factor. Okay, so don't think that when we say Agni, it's just for the digestion. It has much more in-depth meaning. So what are the function of Agni? What does it do? So as I said, it creates the affection, interest, enthusiasm, tissue, nutrition, production of tejas, like the brightness, production and utilization of prana, the vital energy, maintain intelligence, provide strength and vitality. For all these things, we need a proper functioning of this Agni. Impairment of this Agni happen, your digestion won't take place properly, your thought process won't take place properly, you don't feel much happy, you feel tired, heavy, fatigue, dissatisfaction, no confidence, dullness, you carry like sluggishness in your thought and action. So that's why one must pay attention to Agni into their day-to-day life. And that again correlate with your what type of food you eat. Agni can affect, depend on if you are choosing a wrong food, if you are choosing a wrong lifestyle activities. That's why I wanted to connect that lifestyle activities earlier. It's very important. Okay, so now let's look at the Ama. So I said that if Agni doesn't function properly, there is a formation of Ama. So what is Ama means? Ama, it's a word. Ama here is, it's a failed digestion. Because your Agni doesn't function properly, because your Agni is weak, then what happened? There is a failed digestion, not indigestion, the failed digestion. It happened in Rasa Dhatu, sorry, there is a spelling mistake, Rasa Dhatu. So I'm not going very deeper in the concept of Dhatu. It's one tissue, like the food what you eat, convert into a nutrient format. And that on that nutrient format, the special type of Agni works and form the first Ras Dhatu. In Ayurveda, there is a concept of Dhatu which give the bulkness in the body. Okay, so and this nutrient is not forming properly. So what happens is, if you have digestion, you have at the risk of developing Ama. So Ama is not indigestion, Ama is a failed digestion. Okay, so if you have an indigestion, there is a chance that there is undigested metabolites can be formed. So Ama denote the deranged process of digestion and metabolism. That's the key point here. I think Anaka, somebody's microphone is on. If you can mute, that will be helpful. So Ama denote the deranged process of digestion, deranged process of metabolism. So what happened then when the digestion is disturbed, when the metabolism is not happening properly, that build up the metabolic byproducts in the body. So if the metabolic byproducts get accumulated, there the disease process started. And even a few years back, I read an article actually. It's not in Ayurvedic medicine. It's a research article. It shows that there are correlation between the chronic disease, this metabolic accumulation of metabolic byproduct. And I was so happy to see that, because that exactly Ayurveda talk about, right? Metabolic byproduct accumulation definitely causes the disease. Most of the chronic disease, there is a formation of Ama. So Ayurveda is a valid science, even though it is a traditional wisdom of science, even though it is not lab tested or randomized controlled trial is not done thousands of years back, but you can validate the principle what is explained in the classical textbook even till today. And I'm sure it is going to be the same even in the future. We all are so blessed that we got the opportunity to learn this science, right? Okay, so now let's look at the formation of Ama. So first, I said that the digestive fire become weak, right? Because of the causative factor, your lifestyle practices, wrong diet, or wrong mental, thoughts process, emotionally stress, like working too hard, not being happy. There are so many causative factors which talk about why Agni can be deranged, okay? Because of that, even some of the chronic disease further makes the Agni deranged. So when the Agni become weak, what happened? There will be a doshic imbalance. I have heard that you already learned dosha, right? It's the biological energies which maintain the various functions in the body, if I'm putting into a free sentence. Dosha is another huge topic. But so when the Agni imbalance, there will be doshic imbalance. Then what happened? There may be that doshic imbalance again weaken the Agni. So the causative factor can cause the doshic imbalance. That dosha imbalance can affect the weaken the Agni, and then we lead to Ama. So as Ama develop, there may be further vitiation of dosha. It doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop the manifestation of the disease, just Ama formation and done. No, that further vitiation of dosha, dhadus, malas, etc. And so the word Ama meaning itself, that which is not move, that which is not transform. So Ama is the byproduct of the impaired digestion. Ama is the accumulation of unexpelled waste in the body. That's why detoxification or even detox or even fasting sometimes helps. Even before, from Ayurvedic perspective, before even go through any detox procedure, this detox process or detox therapies, we make sure the Agni is strong. Without making Agni stronger, you cannot go through the detox. So sometimes simple fasting helps to digest this undigested or to address this accumulated Ama. So Ama is the first expression of aberration in the physiological process in the body. It's the first, it's give you the warning sign. Some of the symptom, the basic symptom like feeling of heaviness, feeling of tiredness, fatigue, foul smell in the urine, foul smell in the bowel movement, foul smell in the sweat, breath is foul smell. So those are the sticky bowel movement. Some of the very basic symptom of accumulate the food is not digesting properly. There are another concept you can find out. Are you hungry? Or you never feel hungry at all? Or do you have an irregular appetite? That means your digestion again affected with the vata energy, irregular appetite. Or do you have a very strong appetite? That again indicate that your Agni is not functioning properly. Or you have no appetite at all. You force yourself to eat. Do you feel gas, bloating, distension in the abdomen after you eat the food? Do you have a regular bowel movement? Or do you have a pebble-like bowel movement? Do you have a loose bowel movement? Or do you have to strain a lot to have a bowel movement? Or you have a normal bowel movement, but at the end it comes out sticky. So these are the certain things symptom you can pay attention to and determine whether your digestive fire is functioning properly. If you have a good digestive fire, your appetite should be good, not too strong, not too low. Good appetite, there should not be heaviness after you eat the meal. There should not be gas and bloating or distension in the abdomen. There should not be any foul smell in your urine or bowel movement. There should not be gas formation, right? So these are the simple things you can pay attention to look at your digestion. So due to the hypofunctioning of Agni, Ama is also, that's how the Ama is formed. So Ama is also understood to be created from the Rasa Shesha. So it's not immediately after the nutrient part. When that nutrient part going to convert into a different tissues from Ayurvedic perspective, that first tissue itself not formed properly. That's where the Ama is formed. So first dhatu become undigested and get accumulated. So Ama as the improperly digested essence of food that is located in the stomach. So undigested food undergo adverse transformation. That's how the disease manifestation going to start. And it depends on again that accumulated thing, substance or undigested metabolites combined with the different, can go and attack the different dhatus or tissues in the body, again combined with the different malas in the body, or it can combine again with the different doshas. Then the disease manifestation start. So in Ayurveda, the disease management is breaking out this pathology. If you understand what is happening in the disease manifestation, and if you can break out that pathology, there the healing is starting. So outcome of Ama, what happened? So retention of an improperly transformed substance or group of substance in the body. It can remain latent form in the body. It can develop into a substance that can cause blockage, functional and structural disturbance. It's not only functional, there can be, after some accumulation, some deformities can form. You might have seen in rheumatoid arthritis, there are certain joint deformity. So if you don't address it on time, if you don't take care of it on time, it can lead into a different structural deformity or structural disturbance. Infection, growth, inflammation, structural disintegration, all this can happen because of Ama. Chronic inflammatory changes. So you look at how the digestion play a role to become a structural deformity in your body too. How the digestion play a role that your joints are in become a crooked shape. How the digestion play a role to form a cancer in your body. How the digestion play a role to form a chronic inflammatory changes in the body. You see that? So this is one pathology. There are so many other factors also involved in manifestation of the disease. So Ama can also lead to a improper formation of the physical structures of the body. So cause of Ama, the simple one, not taking care of Agni. If you don't take care of your digestive fire properly, indigestion, if you are overeating, okay, or maybe not eating properly also, irregular food habit. Some days you eat breakfast at 7 o'clock, some days you eat at 10 o'clock, some days you at 2:30 breakfast. It's like all over irregular. And the same way, irregular, the food which are, some days you eat Thai food, next day you eat Korean food, another Indian food, Italian food, your digestive system get confused completely. Why in the Ayurveda say that one must eat the food which his body is accustomed to it? Why it is saying like that? The one must eat the food which the body is used to, right? Once in a while, if you make a change, you need to how to take care of it. You should know how to take care of it, but not variety. One day very spicy, one day very oily, one day very, different type of food. Sometimes that can cause the confusion to our digestive system. Try to eat the food what is growing in that particular season. Try to eat the food what is suitable to your body type, what you like, what makes you comfortable. After some time, if you eat ABCD food, it makes you comfortable, not to the taste, okay? Taste of tongue, how the taste perception is different from what make you feel good. If you are, once after you eat the food, if you are feeling heavy, sluggish, really not feeling like, you feel drowsy and all, that means that's not a good food for you. Maybe you should eat less of that, or maybe you should avoid that type of food. So excessive consumption of the cold food, also incompatible food. There are certain food, like in Ayurveda says fish and dairy should not mix. Fruits, sour fruits and milk should not mix, right? There are incompatible food explained in Ayurveda. It can cause a certain disease. Skin condition and all, incompatible food play a major role in the manifestation of the skin condition. So tissue loss as a result of emaciating disease, that also can cause Ama. Change in the climate and season, improper, like, during the rainy season, too much hot, or during the summer season, too much rain or too much cold. The change in the climate, that affect your digestive fire. If the digestive fire is affected, that form the undigested metabolites. So you need to know when that, we don't have a control how the environment is going to be, right? So when that kind of environmental changes happen, what we need to do to take care of ourselves is very important. And suppression of natural urges. Ayurveda, that's another huge topic. There explain certain urges we should suppress, certain urges we should not suppress. Doing that can cause it can disturb your Agni and can lead to Ama. So in summary, what's the time? Okay. So the basic theme here is good diet. lies in the mita ahara, small quantity, based on your digestive fire, based on your comfort. You should feel light when after you eat the food, and it should be easily digestible. If you're working really hard, doing a lot of physical exercise, then you can eat heavy food. But if you're sitting in front of the computer, or if you're doing a housework, not too much physical exercise, then don't eat too much heavy food, because that will lead to food not to get digested and absorbed into the system properly, and accumulation happens. Sometimes it can lead to obesity. You won't be able to function properly. Not function properly means not that you will be handicapped or you will be really sick at the initially, but you don't get the best energy out of your body. You feel always little sluggish, tiredness. Pay attention to your digestive fire. That the simple is, am I hungry? Do I feel comfort? Do I feel good after I eat the food? While taking the food, half of the stomach should be filled with the solid food, 1/4 with the liquid food, and rest 1/4 should be left empty. Don't eat till you feel complete full. Don't snack throughout the day also. You don't need to. Control your taste or control your urge to eat the food. Mita ahara, small quantity, keep you long actually. Food containing different taste is important. Madura, amla, lavana, sweet, sour, salty, pungent, astringent, etc. Ayurveda says one must eat with food with all this taste, variety of color, different color, right? Different vegetable when you have. Ayurveda never says don't eat non-veg. Ayurveda has a lot of explanation about the different type of meat, right? Bird's meat, animal meat, it explains. But one must pay attention to the digestive fire. And different guna like hot, cold, dry, rough, like there are different qualities. There are 20 qualities explained in Ayurveda. So one must include the food with a different quality based on the what quality is predominant in you. You may want to take opposite qualities so that you can bring the balance. Practice mindful eating practices. Sit quietly, look at the food, touch the food, feel the food, chew the food, listen to the food when you chew, and have that peaceful state of mind while eating the food, because you are what you eat and what digest. It's not just you are what you eat, only what you eat and digest. If you cannot digest properly, it accumulates there and it can cause the disease. So I would like to end saying that Ayurveda is a consciousness-based approach to health. It's a spiritual medicine recognizing the phenomenal intelligence in every grain, every seed, all life and all living things. That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you. It's wonderful. So do you think you want to take any questions, or do you have time to do the questions or no?
I can go over some questions. Yeah, sure.
So I think the people have to raise their hands if they have questions, then I will unmute them, or they can unmute and then ask you a questions.
Sure.
Anybody has it? Okay, Pat, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Sorry, it took me a minute.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your presentation today. I actually took some notes and it was very interesting. For me, I'm like an elder person now. I'm going to be 70 in a couple months. And I became a vegetarian at least 10 years ago. I can't remember why or whatever. But I know that for me, I think I feel better being a vegetarian. Is there some aspect of Ayurvedic that comes into that or not?
No, it's individual choice actually. If you think you feel better, continue with that. I have seen the patient, they like to be vegetarian and they became vegetarian, but after some time they feel very sick.
Yeah.
They don't feel comfortable, and then they shift back to the non-veg food and they are feeling okay. So it is an individualized perception. So if you think you are good, feeling good after you're eating vegetarian food, that's fine, but make sure you get all the different taste. Ayurveda never say that protein, minerals, vitamin, etc., but you need to mention that you need to make sure that you are getting balanced diet. That's the challenge I notice. Like when people become vegetarian, sometimes they also won't take the milk, there are different type of vegetarian now, not
Yes.
just simple aspect. So then you need to make sure you are getting all type of nutrients. Otherwise, you may have a deficiency. In Ayurveda, also concept of deficiency type of disease. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I appreciate the color thing. I can't tell you how many times I sit down, I look at the plate, and I want to see a lot of color.
It's always the Ayurveda is whatever you do, you need to find happiness. It doesn't matter. You eat, you dance, you teach, any action you do. Are you happy? Are you peaceful? Are you enjoying your life? Then you will get this immense energy in you, and you can build the peace out of that actually. So it doesn't matter. Find happiness in what you do.
Oh, I have, and thank you so much.
Thank you. I think there is another one. Noella, you can go ahead.
Yes.
Unmute.
Hi, I'm wondering, do you have any advice for people who can't be on the biological clock? Because I work shift work, so I work in a hospital, and I work days, I work nights, so it varies every day, and my sleep varies every day. Do you have any suggestions for that or recommendations?
Yeah, Ayurveda says there is a section in the Charaka Sutra talk about the sleep. So if you are sleeping during daytime, if you're working during nighttime, make sure that you get enough sleep during daytime. So basically you can move according to that clock. You can reverse the clock. That can be a little challenging. It won't be exactly the same how the nature clock, because you cannot reverse the nature clock, right? So try to follow regular diet, regular lifestyle. Make sure you are getting good sleep. That's the biggest challenge. People who work nighttime, they don't get enough sleep during daytime. Or they may develop the pattern that 3 days they will good sleep and the another day they will go back to the different way. That again confuse the biological clock in the body. During the sleep, your liver rejuvenate, your spleen rejuvenate, your heart rejuvenate, your complete digestive system rejuvenate. So that's why for me, what I recommend my patient, sleep is the medicine. Some of the disease, just make them to sleep, tell them go to sleep. You can see the difference. The body has its own innate power to heal the body. Each individual has that power to heal the body with using simple technique, diet, lifestyle, sleep, your behavior, etc. So I would recommend for you, make sure you eat healthy food. Because you work at night, don't skip the food. You must eat the food in a regular time, and also sleep and follow the proper lifestyle. And above and beyond all that, your mind play a role. Don't think that as a big problem. Tell yourself, yes, this is okay, this is my response, this is my job, I will come out of it. That's why people who don't believe in Ayurveda or people who don't believe in all these things, still they will be healthy, because the power of mind play a major role in the way how you feel it, what you do, how you do, and overall well-being. So the body and mind is connected so much together. You cannot separate it. I think there is some disturbance, I believe.
Okay. I think there is one more. Go ahead, Plukchi. I guess you wanted to ask something.
Hi, I had a quick question. You mentioned during your lecture that, you have an imbalance, especially when you suppress certain urges or natural urges. And you said that was another topic for another time, but I was just curious as to what you were referring to generally.
Yeah, so there are certain urges in Ayurveda, the urge to urinate, urge to have a bowel movement. Those are the urges you should not. The urge burping, vegana daredve, vin mutra shavaddu, thread like urge to when you want to drink the water. Those kind of urge you should not suppress. When you suppress those urge to urinate, urge to defecate, or going for bowel movement, then these all affect your fire. There are certain urges you need to suppress, the getting anger, the feeling of jealousy, the frustration. Those are the urges you need to suppress. Suppress means you need to find a spiritual way of suppress. Means not just, oh, I'm angry, I'm not going to show it to anybody now. No, find an answer. Why am I angry? Why am I frustrated? Why am I jealous? What is it? What is happening? One thing, one I always tell my patient, which I see clinically very helpful. Teach your patients and everybody, it's okay to make a mistake, but identify the mistake and fix it. We don't have to be successful person all the time, and it's impossible. I don't think any person here always successful. It's okay to fail, it's okay to fall down, but the beauty is, how are you going to get up? How are you going to walk forward? You have to have your own dharma, the righteous feeling. Do your action based on the righteous feeling, righteous thoughts. When you build the life based on that principle, it's easy to move forward. You feel like big, how do I put it, you feel big foundation. That's what I would say. So sometimes you may miss it, sometimes you will suffer, but immediately come out of it. Okay, next time I should not do it. Sometimes you say that you might have eaten heavy food, but you should know when you eat a heavy food what I should do. Maybe I should drink more ginger tea, or maybe I should not eat for next few hours so that the heavy meal get digested properly. So you have to have a lifestyle choice. So Ayurveda never say that, like, very strict daily routine, very strict seasonal routine. I don't believe in that. You have to find a peace. You have to enjoy when you follow the daily routine. I do get some patients say that, oh, I'm not able to follow all this routine. Do you think I cannot use Ayurvedic medicine? No. I said, no, you can still. Take it little by little. There is a cultural difference here. In India, you have to look at this science, more practice. It was there in the culture. People are waking up early, people are eating certain type of meat, but all of a sudden changing upside down, it may be a challenge. You need to hold your patient's hand, walk them through it, make them to understand why it is important. Why you should not eat X food, why you should eat this type of food. So there should be an educational demonstration, little by little, little by little. We should not make them overwhelmed.
I see. I don't know if you mentioned this, or I may just have missed it. What are your thoughts on having water when you're eating your food? Because I've heard from people that you shouldn't drink water while you're eating solid food, but then I know that you also need to drink water to make sure that you're not going to choke. So I just want to know if there's anything in Ayurveda that specifically mentions what you should or should not be doing.
Yeah. So Ayurveda talk about the drinking water, when you should drink water. So if you want to maintain the weight, you can drink the water in between the food. If you want to lose the weight, drink water before the food. If you want to gain the weight, you drink the water after your meal. So that's a concept explained in Ayurveda. Yeah. But not like in a Western medicine, that approach is not there. This is the concept it explains.
So when you say in between, so while you're eating, like you're eating a sandwich, you would drink water with that, and that would just be to maintain the weight.
Yes. With
okay, I see.
Yeah. All right. Yamini, you can go now, the next. And then Noella, I will unmute you as soon as she's done. Unmute yourself.
So my question regarding the lifestyle of here, like people cook the food once a week and eat while they want. So is it favorable to them for not increasing the ama in the body, or what?
Okay, that's a huge, big topic. Ayurveda says make the fresh food. Even if you go to the spiritual perspective, I think even 3 hours, if we cook the food and wait up more than 3 hours, it's not considered as fresh. I don't remember exactly where is the reference, but I would say cook for 1 week and keeping won't be good, because you are going to keep it in the refrigerator, and then first you cook it, you heat it, and then you're putting it back to the cold, and then you are taking it back to the heat again. There is a molecular level, some changes. We may need to do some research and see what changes at the molecular level are happening at that. But fresh food is always good. Prepare the meal in the morning. If you cannot make 3 times a day, at least make it in the morning. You can have lunch and dinner. That is the best approach. The fresh meal makes a huge difference. And you might have seen it also. You might have observed, right? If you cook the fresh food and eat, you feel the difference actually than overheating again and again and again eating that food. That's why the restaurant food, you never know what kind of oil they are using, right? They may be using the fried oil to cook the food also. So those are very important. Why nowadays more and more people suffering from the disease? Is this our lifestyle is the cause? The human beings, our own action is the causative factors of the manifestation of the disease here. Because we know this thing, it was there in our culture. When you go to different countries, you ask like 100 years back, everybody cooked. Majority of the culture had this. They all cook the food at home. Now if you look at, even in India, last time when I went, major cities, you can so many restaurants, people eat from outside. They don't have time to cook the food, because our work lifestyle balance now come somewhere challenging. So it's a little difficult at that point, but we need to learn method where we can make a simple, it doesn't have to be complicated type of cooking, simple, which is good for the body and light to digest meal. That way, very simple life. Simple life is always beautiful, it's easy.
Thank you. I think that's the one last one, the Noella who was asking earlier. She had a question. Go ahead, Noelia. Are you there?
No, I got my question answered. My hand was still raised. Sorry. I don't have another question.
Okay, thank you then. Anybody else? Okay, one last one is Elena. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask from the perspective of how it affects the Agni. Does Ayurveda recommend to, as far as vegetables, to eat them cooked rather than raw? Because I know a lot of people focus that it's better to eat raw because with the heating, some of the nutrients are being killed. So I just want to see what's the perspective of Ayurveda on that.
I don't think Ayurveda talk about nutrients will be died when you cook the food. That concept I have not come across. But depending on the person's strength, sometimes you can eat the raw food if your digestive fire is really strong. Agni Bala is very strong. You can have, if you don't have any imbalance, especially Vata imbalance and all not there, then if your fire is strong, you can include a raw food. But the concept of the food consumption, if you might have seen in my slide, eat warm food is what they mention. So there is explanation to maintain the digestion, to have a healthy digestion, try to eat warm food. But I don't see the concept which says that don't even eat raw food at all. I don't think so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I guess all set. I'm sure, Anupama, you have given more than enough time to us with your wisdom and knowledge. And I really thank you from bottom of my heart that you took a time out to give us this education to the community. And that's what my goal is. I wanted to bring this to a community where we help each other and grow together. That's the bottom line, right? Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Monaji. Thanks for this opportunity. I really enjoyed sharing the information, whatever I know, to our Ayurvedic community.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you.
Thank you.